Ready, set, art. So, we're getting ready for our final exam. The final exam is to design and create a magazine cover that represents what you want to do this summer. So, for the sketchbook assignment to get you ready for this magazine cover, I picked kind of the stereotypical things that do represent summer, right? That's not to say that if you want to do a gaming magazine and it's you playing video games, that's great. That's not a stereotype of summer or a symbol of summer, but you're allowed to do that for the semester exam, and that's not a problem. So for the sketchbook assignment, like I said, I focused on summer things because based on the attendance question in class, when I asked students what kind of magazine they thought they would do, the mass majority picked travel type magazines, right? Or in some cases, cooking food. So that's what I focused on for the sketchbook assignment. The first one we're going to do is focusing on food. That's the first sketchbook assignment, a glass of lemonade, and s'mores. Then we're going to focus on camping. A lot of people do camping over the summer. So I have a camping scene with the tent and the trees. I'll show the trees, the mountains, the table, and the campfire, right? And you may be thinking, well, do I have to draw everything in here? My answer is yes. Can I draw my own camping scene for the semester exam? Sure, great. But for the sketchbook assignment, everything you see here, you need to draw, okay? This one I showed because it has a road, and a lot of people like to draw roads, but there's a correct way to do it and the incorrect way. So I have an RV and a car, and this one's more of a desert scene because most likely for you guys to travel, you have to travel out of Vegas and leave the desert, right? Although you guys have Joshua trees here, but maybe you'll travel to Sedona. Who knows? A lot of people like going to the beach, right? So I have two scenes for the beach area. One relaxing at the beach, one surfing. And if you're thinking, do I have to do all this shading? My answer is yes. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead with the lemonade, and of course I'm going to draw darker than you normally would. That's better. Okay, than I normally would. For a sketch assignment, I'm usually really light in the way I sketch because if I'm eventually going to color it, I don't want super dark lines there. I'm going to draw dark for the demo. So I'm going to start with this angle, okay? And then I'm going to draw another angle over here. And it's about the same, right? I'm going to draw this curve here. We dealt with ellipses, so I'm going to draw the other side of this ellipse because this is a clear glass. And then I'm going to do the same up here. Now whatever curves are here, it's the same curve all the way down. What does that mean? You wouldn't draw a cup like this. No, because the way our eyes look at it, if you're able to see the top, then when you look at the bottom, it's going to be curved as well. So you have to make sure that the curves match all the way down. What if there's lines here or wording? Then you would have to curve that as well, such as cola, right? That would have to be curved as well. Okay, next I'm going to, because it's a glass cup, I'm going to create a thicker area here. For those that take intermediate art, you had to draw a pink lemonade before, so this is going to be pretty easy for you. I'm going to do the same thing here, right? It's not a paper cup, it's a glass cup. So right now it's sketchy. For the attached sketchbook page, you'll see I cleaned it up. Okay, so now I have this part. I'm going to curve that a little more because it's incorrect. Next, I want to put in my lemonade line. Where is the lemonade? It's right about here. And since it's curved here, it's going to curve this way too. That's where my lemonade is. And now I want to draw my ice cubes. Ice cubes are like, let me show you something. The square here, normal. But when you put in the angles, you have to make sure the angle is the same angle here and the same angle here. And that way it'll be correct. So I'm going to have an ice cube here floating toward the top, right? I'm going to add, and to make it dark so that you can see, I normally I wouldn't draw this dark, but I'm going to draw kind of like these little melty lines, just so you know, kind of like this, where you're doing that, right? Because it starts to melt. And then you would draw a few more. After that, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put in my straw. And yeah, straws are normal, right? But then when you get to here, they bend, but it's not a pure bend right there, right? There's these little lines that are like this. So you kind of want to put those in. And then I'm going to add these little lines here, but I curve them because straws are like a cylinder. And then this is this little ellipse right here. Lots of ellipses. Because it's lemonade, I'm going to also add a lemonade slice. Could you add, if it's cherry lemonade, could you add cherries toward the bottom? Sure. Great. So I'm going to go ahead and put this circle in, more like an ellipse. And I take this and I move up toward the glass, past it, because it's on the lip. That's what you call this part. And then bring this up, almost like Pac-Man. And then, because it's see-through, I'm adding this part here. I'm going to add the rind. Okay. And then the wedges. And you keep going around. I add little lines here and there. Those little fibrous lines. Right? Do that all the way around. And you would finish with more of those ice cubes. Yeah. Next is s'mores. Yay. Some of you like s'mores. Some of you don't like s'mores, right? I like the s'mores where you put the Reese's peanut butter cup in. That's a really nice trick. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is add my angle in for the graham cracker part. Now, for the next part, I'm going to add a couple more angles here, so it becomes more of a diamond shape. So if you're not sure how to do that, when you pull up this image, you can hold your pencil to this angle compared to your drawing. Whoops. Compare to your drawing, hold that down, and draw your line. Let me make sure I'm still... Okay, it's still going. Sorry, my camera moved back. All right, so I'm going to match my angles to how I did it in my drawing. Now, if you notice, these are parallel lines, right? This one is parallel to this one's parallel to this, meaning they'll never meet. I'm going to add that crunchy side, and I'm kind of rounding these because the graham cracker. Okay, go about halfway and add that dip, that little stitch line. And then when I looked at it, it goes 2 dots, 1 dot, 2 dots, 1 dot, right? So that's what I'm doing. Okay. Next, I'm going to add the marshmallow. The marshmallow is, because it starts round and it flattens, it's kind of this weird kind of shape that goes like this. It's smushed, right? It's a little on the smushy side. And then I add kind of this line here because, as you know, when we see marshmallows, it's almost like a cylinder. So you kind of see this little bit of an edge here. Before I add the chocolate, I'm going to add the bottom part of my graham crackers. So I kind of follow this line, and I put a little dash here. And then I angle my pencil here and angle it here. Why? So that my angles match. Right? Follow this part. Match this angle. So far, this is a super wide graham cracker compared to before. Right? Okay. Okay, so now, that looks like it's too far away. I'm going to move it up. Artists make mistakes all the time, right? All you have to do is correct it. No big deal. So I'm going to take this one out. But I made sure it was the same angle again. That one looks better. Okay. Now I'm ready for the chocolate. So the chocolate essentially is going to melt over it. So you can see I'm creating these little curves going around, and then I would erase overlapped, right? All those overlapping areas. Okay. I'm going to add shine areas. So shine is like, it kind of looks like these, just like that. Why? Because when chocolate melts, it's kind of shiny. Now, because it's probably Hershey's, I'm going to put in some of kind of these lines that we sometimes see. Right? Finish up that. Okay. And look, we have our s'mores. Now, when you see my version, of course, I went and erased it and cleaned up the line so that you could see it. Okay, that's part 1 of the summer one. The next one will be camping. Thank you and good luck.